The night has already settled in. Most of the city has gone quiet now. Lights are dimmed in apartment windows. Cars are parked and still. Phones rest on bedside tables, untouched. If you're here, awake in this moment, there's nothing unusual about that. Some days simply take longer to release us. This is one of those moments where nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be planned. Nothing needs your attention anymore. Inside this office building, the day has fully let go. The hallways are empty. Soft lights remain on, not to illuminate anything important, but simply to exist. The air is steady and calm, holding no urgency at all. Outside, winter keeps the night cool and quiet. Inside, everything feels contained, protected, exactly as it should be. There's a sense that time has slowed down here. No meetings waiting, no messages arriving, no expectations pressing in, just space and movement. Far down the corridor, there's a gentle sound. The soft roll of wheels across the floor, unhurried, predictable, almost comforting in its repetition. This is Mr. Josh. He's been here long after the last employee left, and long before the first one will arrive in the morning. Not because anyone is watching, not because anyone asked him to hurry, simply because this is the rhythm he knows. Mr. Josh moves calmly through the building, pushing his cart with an ease that comes only from familiarity. He knows these hallways without thinking, knows which lights stay on overnight, which doors always close softly, which chairs tend to drift slightly out of place during the day. He pauses now and then, adjusting a chair so it rests neatly beneath a desk, straightening a keyboard, clearing a surface until it feels right. Nothing dramatic, nothing rushed. Each small action carries the same quiet intention: to leave things ready, to leave things gentle, to leave things as they should be. This building doesn't need to be perfect. It only needs to be calm. And it is. As Mr. Josh continues his steady path, the office settles further into stillness. The kind of stillness that doesn't feel empty, but complete. If your thoughts are still lingering from the day, there's no need to push them away. They can soften here. They can slow down, just like everything else in this space. You don't need to stay alert. You don't need to hold things together. Someone is already doing that. While you rest, while you listen, while your breathing finds its own natural rhythm, the quiet work of the night continues. Everything is being taken care of, and for now, that's more than enough. Before we journey deeper into this quiet space where care continues through darkness, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. In doing so, you ensure this refuge remains here, ready for you on nights when sleep feels distant. When tonight's story brings you peace, your support helps us continue creating these spaces of rest. The small act of subscribing becomes your own quiet ritual, a promise that this place will be here whenever you need to return. The office tower rises 17 floors into winter darkness. From the street below, most windows hold only black. A few scattered squares glow with that particular amber that comes from desk lamps left burning. On the 14th floor, a single light moves slowly past one window, then another still. The movement has rhythm to it, steady, deliberate, without hurry or hesitation. Inside, the air carries a quality found only in large buildings after hours. Not silence exactly, but the absence of human noise. The ventilation system breathes its constant low hum. Somewhere distant, an elevator mechanism clicks and settles. The heating pipes tick softly as metal expands and contracts against the cold pressing in from outside. These sounds don't disturb. They anchor. They confirm the building's aliveness even in rest. The 14th floor stretches in both directions from the central elevator bank. Carpet the color of slate runs the length of both corridors. Overhead, motion sensor lights have dimmed to perhaps 30% of their daytime brightness. Just enough to see by. Just enough to find your way. The walls hold that neutral gray beige that defines corporate spaces everywhere. During daylight hours, these walls disappear beneath the movement of bodies, the urgency of meetings, the constant flow of decisions being made. Now they simply exist, patient and still. Near the eastern corridor's end, a utility cart rests against the wall, chrome frame catching the low light. On its top shelf, cleaning supplies stand in neat rows. Spray bottles with their labels facing forward. Microfiber cloths folded into precise squares. A small trash bin hangs from one side, its liner fresh and empty. The cart hasn't been abandoned. It's been positioned, placed with the same care someone might use arranging flowers in a vase. Mr. Josh reaches the first office door and pauses. His hand rests on the frame for just a moment, as if checking that the door is truly closed, that the space within is secure. The gesture takes perhaps 2 seconds. Then he continues to the next door. The same pause, the same brief touch, the same continuation forward. There's no clipboard, no checklist. He simply knows what needs confirming. 17 years of walking these corridors have written their map into his muscle memory. At the conference room halfway down the eastern corridor, Mr. Josh stops longer. Through the glass walls, 8 chairs surround a long table. Someone has left papers scattered across the surface. Coffee mugs sit abandoned at 3 different spots, rings of dried liquid marking their previous positions. A whiteboard on the far wall holds half-urist diagrams, blue and red markers lying uncapped on its aluminum tray. He opens the door. The room smells of stale coffee and the particular staleness that gathers in spaces full of voices all day that fall suddenly empty. Mr. Josh moves to the table first. He gathers the papers into a neat stack, edges aligned, and places them beside the nearest laptop dock. The coffee mugs he collects, one by one, hooking 3 fingers through their handles so he can carry all of them at once. He sets them on the cart in the corridor, then returns for the markers. The markers get their caps replaced first. Blue on blue, red on red, black on black. Then he uses the eraser to clear the whiteboard completely, working in long horizontal strokes that leave no streaks, no ghostly remnants of whatever diagrams had been drawn. The aluminum tray receives the markers in a row, tips pointing the same direction. He steps back, surveys the room. The table holds only what belongs there. The chairs sit evenly spaced. The air already smells less stale, as if his presence has somehow freshened it. He leaves the conference room door open behind him. During the day, closed doors mean privacy, meetings in progress, conversations not to be interrupted. At night, open doors mean safety. They mean someone has already checked. They mean everything within is as it should be. The corridor continues. More offices, more doors receiving that same brief touch. Mr. Josh's movement never varies in speed. Not slow, exactly, but measured. Each step takes the time it needs to take. No more, no less. His breathing stays even. His shoulders remain relaxed. There's something deeply calm in watching work being done without tension, without that forward-leaning urgency that defines so much of how we move through days. At the kitchenette, Mr. Josh pauses longer. Someone has left the coffee maker on its warming plate, glowing orange beneath an empty pot. The smell of burned coffee residue fills the small space. He switches the machine off, unplugs it, and sets the empty pot in the sink. Hot water from the tap begins its work, loosening the dark stains inside. While the pot soaks, he wipes down the counter. Crumbs from someone's lunch disappear under the cloth. A small pool of spilled cream gets absorbed. The microwave door, hanging slightly ajar, gets closed completely. The refrigerator hums its constant low note. Mr. Josh opens it and surveys the contents. 3 lunches in paper bags, names written in marker on their sides. Tuesday's date on 2 of them. Wednesday's on the 3rd. Tomorrow is Friday. He makes a mental note. The bags with Tuesday's date can be removed tomorrow night if they're still here. No one comes back for lunches this old. They simply forget, remember later, feel that small twist of guilt that comes with waste, then move on. On the top shelf, someone's yogurt has leaked. White residue spreading slowly beneath the plastic container. Mr. Josh removes the container, wipes the shelf clean, and returns the yogurt to a different spot where it won't tip. He closes the refrigerator door. The kitchen smells better now. Coffee and cream and the faint chemical cleanliness of the spray he used. The mugs from the conference room receive attention next. Hot water, a drop of dish soap, the soft scrubbing of a brush working away the dried coffee rings inside. He rinses each mug until water runs clear, then sets them in the drying rack beside the sink. They'll be ready in the morning. Someone will use them again. The cycle continues. Windows line the western side of the corridor, looking out over the city. During daylight, the view reveals other towers, streets webbed between them, the constant motion of a city conducting its business. Now, the view shows mostly darkness punctuated by light. Building windows glowing in seemingly random patterns. Street lamps drawing lines of amber through the streets below. Traffic lights changing colors for cars that aren't there. Somewhere in the distance, an airplane's lights move slowly across the sky, blinking their steady rhythm. Mr. Josh stands at one window for a moment, not quite pausing, not quite stopping, simply allowing himself to notice what's there. The glass feels cold when he places his palm against it. Outside temperature, perhaps 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside, the heating system maintains its steady 72. The contrast between the two worlds feels absolute. Out there, winter presses down with weight and cold. In here, warmth holds firm. The building protects what's within. His reflection appears faint in the dark glass, a ghost of himself superimposed on the city beyond. He doesn't study it, doesn't examine the lines on his face or the grey that's been spreading through his hair these past few years. He simply sees himself there, present, and then moves on. The carpet needs vacuuming. The restrooms need checking. The night's work continues at its steady pace. The vacuum cleaner waits in a small utility closet near the elevators. Commercial grade. Its motor hums at a pitch that's somehow almost pleasant. Not loud enough to disturb, but present enough to fill the silence with purposeful sound. Mr. Josh works methodically, overlapping each pass slightly to ensure no spot gets missed. The carpet's color doesn't change much under his attention. That's not the point. The point is removing what's been tracked in, dirt too small to see, dust that settles in tiny particles, the accumulated evidence of 100 people moving through their day. He vacuums each corridor completely before moving to the next. East Wing, Central Area, West Wing. The conference room receives extra attention, where chairs have been pushed back repeatedly, grinding dirt deeper into the carpet. Under desks, where feet rest all day. Around trash bins, where small pieces of paper sometimes miss their target. The sound of the vacuum fills the space with its steady drone. When Mr. Josh finally switches it off, the silence that returns feels deeper than before, more complete. In the men's restroom, the automatic lights flicker on as he enters. The space smells of industrial soap and the faint mineral scent of water. 3 sinks, 4 stalls, 2 urinals, all the porcelain gleaming white, even under the fluorescent lights that make everything look slightly harsh. Mr. Josh checks each stall. Toilet paper rolls, full enough. No messes to address. The floors dry and clean. At the sinks, he wipes down the faucets, removing water spots and soap residue. The mirrors get the same treatment. Streaks disappear under the microfiber cloth, leaving glass that reflects clearly. He refills the soap dispensers, the paper towel holders. These tasks take time but don't require thought. His hands know the motions. Unscrew the dispenser, remove the empty bag, insert the new one. Screw the dispenser closed. Test it once to ensure soap flows properly. Move to the next. His movements hold that same steady rhythm. Never rushing, never dawdling. Simply doing what needs doing at the pace that allows it to be done well. The women's restroom receives identical attention. Then the single occupancy bathroom marked with the universal access symbol. Mr. Josh treats each space with the same care, regardless of its size or how many people use it. The principle remains constant. These spaces should be ready. They should be clean. They should work properly when someone needs them. This is what the work means. Not the tasks themselves, but what the tasks provide. Back in the main corridor, Mr. Josh returns the cleaning supplies to the utility cart. Everything in its place. Bottles facing forward. Cloths folded. The cart's chrome frame catches the overhead lights, gleaming dully. He pushes it toward the elevator, wheels rolling smoothly over carpet. The elevator arrives within seconds of his pressing the button. Its doors open with a soft chime that sounds almost apologetic for breaking the silence. Inside the elevator, Mr. Josh presses the button for the 13th floor. The doors close. The car descends smoothly, its machinery humming quietly through the walls. A small placard beside the door panel lists emergency procedures. Mr. Josh has read it hundreds of times over the years without meaning to. His eyes simply find it while waiting for the elevator to complete its journey. The words have become almost meditative in their familiarity. In case of fire, use stairs. In case of emergency, press red button. In case of earthquake, protect head and neck. The 13th floor mirrors the 14th in layout, but holds different tenants. Marketing and communications teams work here. The walls show more color. Posters promoting company products. Framed awards from industry publications. A large screen near the elevator bank usually displays rotating slides about upcoming campaigns. Now it sits dark, its screen reflecting only the dim overhead lights. Mr. Josh begins the same routine here, checking doors, examining conference rooms, the kitchenette, the restrooms. Each floor has its own personality, even if the layout remains identical. Different coffee brands in the kitchen, different magazines in the bathroom, different types of clutter left behind on desks. But the work itself doesn't change. The same care, the same attention, the same steady progression through tasks that need completing. In a corner office, someone has left their desk lamp on. The warm light pools across scattered papers and an open notebook. Mr. Josh stands in the doorway for a moment. The lamp shouldn't stay on all night. It's a waste of electricity. But something about the scene stops him from simply switching it off. The notebook lies open to a page covered in handwriting. Not notes about work. Not meeting agendas. Personal writing. The kind someone does when thoughts need expressing, but no one else needs to hear them. He doesn't read the words. That would be crossing a line he's never crossed in 17 years of working here. But he can see from the doorway that the handwriting starts firm at the top of the page and grows shakier toward the bottom. He can see where someone has pressed hard enough with the pen to leave indentations in the paper below. He can see where words have been crossed out, then written again, then crossed out again. Mr. Josh steps into the office, moves around the desk, and gently closes the notebook. He places it squarely in the center of the desk blotter. Then he switches off the lamp. The room falls into darkness, broken only by light from the corridor. He returns to the doorway, pauses, looks back at the desk. The notebook rests there, closed now, its secrets kept. Tomorrow, whoever wrote those words will return and perhaps feel grateful the pages weren't left exposed to view. Perhaps they won't notice at all. Either way, Mr. Josh will have done what felt right. The 13th floor takes 45 minutes to complete. Vacuuming, checking, tidying, the same attention everywhere. When he finishes, Mr. Josh takes the elevator down to 12, then 11, then 10. Each floor becomes a variation on the same theme. Different people, different messes, different arrangements of desks and chairs in conference rooms. But the fundamental truth remains unchanged. People work here during the day. They leave traces of their presence. The traces need tending. Mr. Josh provides that tending. On the 9th floor, he finds a birthday card on the break room table. It's been signed by perhaps 20 people, their names and short messages covering both sides of the card. Happy birthday, Janet. Hope your day is amazing. Another year wiser. The card sits beside a cake box from a grocery store bakery. Inside, half a sheet cake remains, its frosting bearing the remnants of happy birthday written in blue gel. Several slices have been cut away, leaving gaps like missing teeth. Mr. Josh considers the cake. It's Thursday night, nearly Friday morning. If the birthday was today, the cake will be stale by Monday. But perhaps Janet wanted to take it home and forgot. Perhaps she intended to take it tomorrow. He covers the box with its lid, tucks the card inside, and places both in the refrigerator. A small post-it note on the box might help. He finds the pad and pen by the phone. Janet's cake, don't throw away, he writes in careful block letters. The note gets pressed onto the box lid. Now, whoever cleans the refrigerator tomorrow will know to leave it alone. These small decisions fill the night. What to leave, what to move, what to discard, what to preserve. Mr. Josh has developed an instinct for it over the years. He can tell the difference between trash and something someone will return for, between abandoned and simply forgotten, between no longer needed and still important. The instinct isn't infallible. Sometimes he guesses wrong, but more often than not, his judgment proves sound. The 8th floor houses the finance department. The desks here hold more papers than other floors. Spreadsheets printed out despite company emails about going paperless. Folders stuffed with documents awaiting signatures. Calculators sitting beside computer monitors, as if the computers themselves can't be trusted with the math. Mr. Josh doesn't disturb these piles. He's learned that what looks like chaos to him often represents order to whoever works at that desk. He simply vacuums around them and moves on. One desk stands notably emptier than the others. Its surface holds only a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. No photographs, no coffee mug, no small personal touches that accumulate in spaces people occupy for 40 or more hours each week. A cardboard box sits on the floor beside the desk. Inside, a few items wait to be packed, or perhaps have already been packed. Mr. Josh can see the corner of a picture frame, the handle of a coffee mug, a small potted plant with leaves starting to brown from neglect. He's seen this before. Someone leaving, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes not. The empty desk always carries a particular quality regardless of circumstance. This person sat here day after day, made phone calls, sent emails, shared lunch with colleagues. Now they're gone and the desk waits for whoever comes next. The transition happens so quickly. One day full, the next day empty. Life moves on. Mr. Josh waters the plant. It probably won't help. The leaves have browned too far. But he adds water anyway, letting the soil drink what it can. Then he returns the plant to the box, settling it carefully among the other items. Someone will deal with this box eventually, probably tomorrow. But tonight, the plant gets water. It seems like the right thing to do. The 7th floor, the 6th floor, the 5th floor. Hours pass, but Mr. Josh doesn't check his watch. He knows approximately what time it is by the feel of the night, how the building settles, how the traffic sounds change from below, how the darkness outside the windows shifts from the deep black of middle night toward the slightly less deep black that precedes dawn. These markers guide him more accurately than any clock. On the 4th floor, he finds a light on in the server room. The door stands slightly ajar, which shouldn't happen. Server rooms stay locked for security, but here the door sits open, perhaps 3 inches, light leaking into the corridor. Mr. Josh pushes it open further and steps inside. The room hums with white noise from dozens of machines. Racks of servers line both walls, their indicator lights blinking in random patterns: red, green, amber. The lights create a kind of visual rhythm, each machine conducting its own silent business. The temperature in here registers noticeably cooler than the corridors. The machines generate heat. The cooling system works constantly to remove it. A laptop sits open on the small desk in the corner. Its screensaver displays slowly rotating images of national parks: Yosemite, Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon. Whoever was working here left in a hurry, probably responding to some emergency that seemed urgent at the time. Mr. Josh doesn't close the laptop or shut it down. He doesn't have that authority and wouldn't exercise it if he did. Technical equipment lives by rules he doesn't fully understand. Better to leave it alone, but he can close the door properly behind him when he leaves. He can ensure the lock catches. He can confirm the space is secure even if he found it unsecured. These actions live within his responsibility. He takes them carefully, testing the door handle twice to be certain it's truly locked before moving on. The third floor houses human resources. The walls here display posters about workplace safety, about diversity and inclusion, about the company's commitment to work-life balance. Mr. Josh reads these posters, sometimes while vacuuming, the way you read things that are simply there. The messages seem well-intentioned. Whether they translate into reality, he couldn't say. He sees the building at night, when grand promises about culture and values rest as quietly as everything else. One conference room on this floor has been set up for interviews. 6 chairs arranged in a semicircle. A small table holding bottles of water and a box of tissues. A whiteboard listing interview times, candidates' names, and which team is hiring. Tomorrow's schedule shows for interviews starting at 9 in the morning. Mr. Josh straightens the chairs, ensuring they're evenly spaced. He checks the water bottles, all sealed and full. The tissues don't need refilling. The whiteboard he leaves exactly as it is. That information belongs to the hiring managers, not to him. But he can make the space welcoming. He can ensure that when candidates arrive tomorrow, nervous and hoping to make good impressions, they'll enter a room that feels prepared for them. The chairs will be straight, the water will be available, the space will communicate competence and care. These small things matter. Mr. Josh understands this in a way that doesn't require explanation. He simply knows. The second floor, the first floor, ground level, where the main entrance stands locked behind security glass. The lobby holds that particular emptiness of spaces designed for crowds that now contain none. The security desk sits unmanned. The security guard who works nights is making rounds on other floors, or perhaps taking a break in the small office behind the main desk. Mr. Josh doesn't know the current guard's name. They change every few months, it seems. Different security company, different contract, different faces wearing the same uniform. He vacuums the lobby, working round the furniture. Leather couches, glass coffee tables, magazine racks holding publications about business and technology. The company logo dominates one wall, metal letters catching light from the decorative spots trained on them. During the day, visitors and employees pass beneath this logo hundreds of times. At night, it watches over empty space, announcing identity to no one. Mr. Josh finishes the lobby and takes the elevator back up to the 14th floor where he started. His cart waits there, exactly where he left it. The building has made its full circuit, each floor checked, each space tended. The work is not finished. Work of this kind never finishes, but the major tasks have been completed. What remains is smaller, the ongoing maintenance, the constant attention. He returns to the 14th floor kitchenette. The coffee pot he left soaking now releases its stains easily under hot water and a soft scrub brush. He dries it completely and returns it to the machine. Someone will arrive in the morning, probably around 7:30, and brew the first pot of the day. They'll pour their cup without thinking about the clean pot, the ready machine, the functioning space. That's fine. That's how it should be. Good work often goes unnoticed, precisely because it's been done well. Mr. Josh makes himself a cup of tea, not coffee. He stopped drinking coffee after 10 at night years ago. The city breathing its quietest breath before day breaks and urgency returns. He thinks about the people who work in this building, not specifically. He doesn't know most of their names, but he thinks about them generally. The young woman on the 7th floor whose desk holds photographs of 3 cats. The older man on the 10th floor who always arrives first, usually around 6:30, and brews the day's initial pot of coffee. The group on the 12th floor who seem to celebrate everything. Birthdays, work, anniversaries, project completions, with cakes and cards and decorations that take him extra time to clean up afterward. He doesn't mind the extra time. These people carry weights he can't see. Deadlines, quotas, performance reviews, family obligations, financial pressures, the 1,000 invisible threads that make up a life in progress. They come here each day and try to manage it all. Try to be productive and professional and pleasant while carrying everything they carry. Some days they succeed, some days they struggle. He's found evidence of both in the traces they leave behind, the tissues used and thrown away. The stress ball squeezed so many times the foam has permanent finger indentations. The to-do list written and rewritten. Items checked off only to be added again. The personal call taken in a conference room. The person's voice rising and falling in patterns that suggest difficulty, even if the words can't be heard. Mr. Josh sees these things. He doesn't judge them. He simply acknowledges that everyone struggles sometimes. Everyone needs grace. His tea has cooled enough to drink. He sips it slowly, tasting the honey's sweetness beneath the tea's gentle bitterness. The building around him holds its peace. The heating system breathes. The elevator machinery clicks and settles. Somewhere distant, a phone rings once, twice, 3 times, then stops. Probably a wrong number, or a voicemail being left. The sound doesn't disturb the essential quiet. Mr. Josh finishes his tea. He rinses the mug and places it in the drying rack beside the ones from earlier. Then he returns to his cart and begins the smaller tasks that fill the remaining hours. Restocking paper towels in the restrooms. Replacing trash bag liners in the bins he emptied earlier. Checking that all the conference room doors are closed. That all the desk lamps are off. That everything that should be secure is secure. In 17 years, he's developed a relationship with this building that's hard to explain. He doesn't love it exactly. It's not his building. He doesn't own it. He simply maintains it. But there's something deeper than fondness in how he moves through these spaces. Something like responsibility mixed with care. This building protects people during their working hours. He protects the building during its resting hours. The exchange feels balanced, fair, meaningful in its way. People ask him sometimes, usually new employees who arrive early and find him finishing up, whether the work is boring. The same tasks every night, the same floors, the same routine. And he tells them what he tells everyone who asks. The work is what you make of it. You can see it as boring, or you can see it as steady, reliable, a rhythm that holds firm while everything else changes. He's chosen the second view. It makes the nights easier, makes the work feel like contribution rather than mere employment. The eastern windows show the first hint of change. Not light yet, not even close, but the darkness has shifted from complete black to the very deepest blue. The change is so subtle that you'd miss it if you weren't watching. But Mr. Josh notices. He's watched dawn approach from these windows for 17 years. He knows its arrival by increments invisible to most. He makes one more round of the 14th floor, checking, confirming, making certain everything is as it should be. The conference room where papers were scattered now sits neat and ready. The kitchen where the coffee pot burned now smells clean and functional. The restrooms where soap dispensers were empty now have everything they need. The changes aren't dramatic, but they're real. The building is more ready for tomorrow than it was for today. That's what the night has accomplished. At 5:30, the first early arrival appears. Mr. Josh is vacuuming the 12th floor when the elevator chimes, and a woman in running shoes and business casual steps out. She carries a large insulated coffee cup and has headphones in her ears. She nods at Mr. Josh as she passes. He nods back. No words, just acknowledgement. She disappears into an office near the end of the corridor. Lights come on inside. A computer hums to life. The building's day begins while its night hasn't quite finished. Mr. Josh completes the 12th floor and moves to the 11th. Then the 10th, working backwards now, finishing the lower floors while the upper floors start populating. By 6:15, he can hear voices on the 14th floor above him. Multiple people arriving, greetings being exchanged, coffee being brewed. The building filling with presence and purpose. On the 7th floor, he encounters the young woman with the 3 cats. She's at her desk, already working, her fingers moving rapidly over the keyboard. She glances up as he passes with the vacuum. "Morning, Mr. Josh," she says. "Morning," he replies. That's the extent of their conversation. Always has been. But there's warmth in it. Recognition. She knows his name, even though they've never had a real conversation. He knows she has 3 cats, even though she's never told him. These small knowings create connection without demanding it. The relationship exists in acknowledgement, not in explanation. By 7 o'clock, Mr. Josh has finished all the floors. His cart returns to the utility closet on the 14th floor. Supplies get restocked from the larger storage room down the hall. The vacuum cleaner gets plugged in to charge. His jacket comes out of the small locker where he keeps his personal items. The building around him has fully awakened now. Voices fill the corridors. Phones ring. Printers hum. The day shift has taken over completely. He takes the elevator down to ground level one last time. The morning security guard, a different person than the night guard, sits at the desk, reviewing something on a tablet. Mr. Josh signs out in the logbook, recording his departure time, 7:15. The same time he leaves every morning. The same rhythm, the same reliability. Outside, winter air hits him immediately. Sharp, cold, honest in its bite. He pulls his jacket collar up and begins walking toward the bus stop 3 blocks away. The sun has cleared the horizon now, sending long shadows across the streets. The city has woken fully. Traffic moves through intersections. Pedestrians hurry along sidewalks. The day races forward with its characteristic urgency. Mr. Josh walks at his own pace, not hurrying, not dawdling, simply moving forward the way he moves through his work, steady, measured, without rushing. The bus arrives within 5 minutes. He boards, pays his fare, and finds a seat near the back. The bus is crowded with people heading to their own jobs. Everyone lost in their own thoughts, their own concerns, their own lives in progress. He doesn't think about the building as the bus carries him away. Doesn't worry about whether everything was done correctly. He knows it was. 17 years teaches you to trust your work, to understand that you did what could be done with the time and resources available, to accept that perfection isn't the goal. Sufficiency is the goal. Reliability is the goal. Being there every night, doing the work, that's what matters. The bus drops him at the stop near his apartment building. The morning light has grown stronger now, washing everything in pale winter brightness. He climbs the stairs to the 3rd floor. His apartment waits behind a door painted cream, the number 47 fixed to it in brass digits that he polishes once a month. Inside, the apartment greets him with its familiar order, not sterile, not empty of personality, but arranged with the same careful attention he gives to the building he tends. The small living room holds a couch positioned to face the window, a reading lamp beside it, and 3 shelves of books that line one wall. Mystery novels mostly. Some history, a few collections of poetry he's accumulated over the years. The books stand in neat rows, organized by author, their spines creating a patchwork of colors and textures. On the windowsill, for plants catch the morning light, a spider plant with long cascading leaves, a pothos vine that is trained along a small trellis, 2 succulents in ceramic pots. Mr. Josh tends these plants with the same consistency he brings to his work, watering on schedule, rotating them for even light, removing dead leaves when they appear. The plants respond to this care by thriving, their green presence softening the room's corners. The kitchen counter holds an old radio, its wood veneer polished to a warm glow. It's a restoration project he completed 2 years ago. Found it at an estate sale, brought it home, and spent patient evenings replacing components, cleaning connections, restoring the dial mechanism to smooth operation. Now it sits there, functional and beautiful, a testament to the satisfaction of repair. He doesn't play it often, but knowing it works brings him quiet pleasure. Mr. Josh sets his jacket on the hook by the door and moves to the kitchen. Breakfast has become something he looks forward to, not rushed, not grabbed on the way out, but prepared with care. A ritual that bookends his night's work. He fills the kettle and sets it on the stove. While the water heats, he takes 2 eggs from the refrigerator, along with butter, a small wedge of cheese, fresh chives from the pot on the windowsill. The cutting board comes out, the knife, the cheese grater. His movements in this small kitchen mirror his movements through the building's corridors, efficient but unhurried, each action given its proper time. The eggs crack into a bowl with satisfying clean breaks. He whisks them with a fork until the yolks and whites blend completely. A small pat of butter goes into the pan, melting as it heats, filling the kitchen with its rich scent. The eggs pour in with a gentle sizzle. He stirs them slowly, folding them over themselves until they reach that perfect state between liquid and solid. Just before removing them from heat, he adds the grated cheese and chopped chives. The cheese melts into the eggs. The chives add their delicate onion flavor. Toast pops up from the toaster, golden, brown, and fragrant. He spreads it with butter that melts immediately into the warm surface. The eggs slide onto a plate beside the toast. Everything arranged simply but with intention. The kettle whistles. He pours water over a tea bag in his favorite mug, the one with the faded logo from a hardware store that closed 15 years ago. Mr. Josh carries his plate and mug to the small table by the window. He eats slowly, tasting each bite. The eggs are perfectly cooked, creamy, rich. The chives provide little bursts of brightness. The toast offers its satisfying crunch. The tea warms him from the inside. This meal, this moment, feels as complete as any moment in his life. Not because it's extraordinary, because it's sufficient, because he's given it the attention it deserves. Through the window, he watches the neighborhood wake fully. A woman walks her dog past his building. A delivery truck double parks across the street. Someone in the apartment across the way opens their curtains. Life continuing its patterns. Everyone moving through their routines. Mr. Josh is part of that flow, just operating on a different schedule. While they're beginning their days, he's ending his night. While they're pouring their first coffee, he's finishing his last tea. The timing differs, but the principle remains the same. Everyone doing what they do. Everyone finding their rhythm. After breakfast, he washes his dishes immediately. The plate, the fork, the mug, all receive the same careful attention. Soap, hot water, a soft sponge working over every surface. He rinses them thoroughly and sets them in the drying rack. The pan gets cleaned next, then the cutting board, then the knife. The kitchen returns to its state of readiness. Clean, organized, ready for the next meal whenever it comes. The shower runs hot, steam filling the small bathroom and fogging the mirror. Mr. Josh stands under the water for longer than strictly necessary, letting it work on muscles that have spent 8 hours moving, bending, reaching, lifting. He's 62 years old. The work feels harder now than it did at 45, but it doesn't feel impossible. His body still does what he asks it to do, still carries him through the night, still allows him to maintain the standard of care he's set for himself. He dries off with a towel that smells of the lavender detergent he uses. Fresh clothes, weight in the dresser. Soft cotton pants, a comfortable shirt, clean socks. He dresses slowly, his body beginning to recognize these movements as the prelude to sleep. The bathroom mirror has cleared enough for him to see his reflection. Grey hair, lines around his eyes. The evidence of years lived. He doesn't examine himself critically, simply acknowledges what's there, then moves on. The bedroom receives him with its familiar comfort. The bed made this morning before he left, sheets smooth and inviting. The curtains already drawn against the daylight. The room holds that particular dimness that makes sleep possible during morning hours. Not complete darkness, but darkness enough. Mr. Josh sets his alarm for 8:30 in the evening, 9 hours from now. Enough sleep to be rested, not so much that his schedule shifts. He's maintained this rhythm for 17 years. His body knows it well, expects it, cooperates with it. He slides between the sheets, feeling their coolness against his skin. The pillow accepts his head. The blanket settles over him with gentle weight. Everything in this small apartment reflects the same care he brings to the building. Nothing extravagant, nothing excessive, but everything in its place. Everything clean and functional and ready. His breathing begins to slow naturally. His thoughts drift without urgency. He doesn't fight, sleep, or chase it. Simply allows the transition to happen at its own pace. His body knows what to do, knows how to release the night's work, knows how to find rest. He thinks briefly about the building, about the people who are there now, working at desks he cleaned, using kitchens he restocked, walking through corridors he vacuumed. They move through their days without knowing his name, most of them, without thinking about who ensures their spaces function smoothly. And that's exactly how it should be. The best work is invisible work, the kind that creates conditions for other work to happen. Mr. Josh's thoughts grow further apart. His breathing deepens. The transition completes itself naturally, the way dawn arrived at the building's windows. Gradually, inevitably, without announcement, sleep takes him gently, welcoming him into its restoration. The apartment holds its quiet around him. The plants on the windowsill continue their slow process of turning light into life. The books on their shelves wait patiently for his attention. The radio sits ready for whenever he might choose to play it. Everything in its place, everything at peace. Outside, the city continues its daylight business. Cars move through streets. People conduct their work. The building downtown stands among its neighbors, all 17 floors now fully occupied with the day's activity. On every floor, people sit at desks that Mr. Josh prepared. They meet in conference rooms he tidied. They wash their hands with soap he restocked. The building functions smoothly, exactly as it should. None of them think about Mr. Josh sleeping in his apartment across the city. Why would they? Their work demands their attention. Their deadlines press. Their meetings fill their calendars. They move through spaces that simply work, never questioning why they work, never wondering who makes them work. But Mr. Josh doesn't need their awareness, doesn't require their gratitude. The work itself provides its own reward. The satisfaction of tasks completed, the peace of routine maintained, the quiet pride of knowing that his care makes a difference, even if that difference goes unnoticed. He sleeps deeply through the morning, through the afternoon, through the early evening, his body taking the rest it needs, his mind releasing the night's concerns. The alarm will sound at 8:30. He'll wake without resentment. He'll prepare for his shift. At 11:30, he'll be back at the building, the cycle continuing, the rhythm holding firm, while he sleeps, while the afternoon sun tracks across the sky, while the city conducts its business. Mr. Josh rests in the knowledge that he's done what needed doing, that tonight he'll do it again, that the building depends on him and he meets that dependence faithfully. This is enough. This has always been enough. The work, the routine, the quiet satisfaction of care given and received. The hours pass in his darkened bedroom. His breathing stays steady and deep. His body repairs itself from the night's exertions. His mind processes and files and releases whatever needs releasing. Sleep doing its necessary work, while Mr. Josh remains unaware of its mechanisms, simply trusting that rest will restore him, that he'll wake ready, that the work will continue as it always has. Evening approaches gradually. The winter sun sinks toward the horizon. Shadows lengthen across the city. The quality of light shifts from afternoon brightness to evening dimness. And in his apartment, Mr. Josh continues sleeping, the alarm drawing closer minute by minute. When it sounds at 8:30, he'll wake smoothly. No jarring start, no reluctant resistance. Simply opening his eyes, acknowledging the transition, and beginning to move toward the work that waits. Dinner will be simple but nourishing. Preparation will be automatic. The bus will arrive on schedule. The building will be waiting. And tonight, as he has for 17 years, Mr. Josh will walk those corridors. He'll check those doors. He'll clean those surfaces. He'll maintain the order that makes tomorrow possible. Not for recognition, not for praise. Simply because this is what he does. This is his rhythm. This is his contribution. The building needs someone to care for it through the night. Mr. Josh is that someone, has been that someone for 17 years. Will continue being that someone for as long as his body permits. The work is steady. The work is reliable. The work is enough. While everyone sleeps, Mr. Josh keeps things ready. This truth holds constant through every night, through every season, through every year. The people in the building may never know his name, may never think about who ensures their coffee pots are clean, their restrooms stocked, their corridors vacuumed. But Mr. Josh knows, and knowing is sufficient. He moves through those spaces with quiet care. He tends what needs tending. He maintains what needs maintaining. He ensures that every morning people arrive to find everything exactly as it should be. Functional, clean, ready. This is his gift to them. This is his purpose. This is what gives his nights their meaning. The work isn't glamorous, doesn't come with awards or recognition, doesn't generate stories people tell at parties, but it's necessary, essential. Even without it, small problems would compound into larger ones. The smooth functioning everyone takes for granted would falter. The building would gradually descend into disarray. Mr. Josh prevents that descent, night after night, year after year. 17 years so far, perhaps more to come. The work continues. The rhythm holds. The care persists. And somewhere in the city, sleeping through the afternoon, Mr. Josh rests in preparation for another night of ensuring that while everyone sleeps, everything is being taken care of. The building stands downtown, 17 floors reaching into the sky. And through every quiet hour of darkness, Mr. Josh moves through its spaces, checking, cleaning, maintaining, making certain that morning will find everything ready, that people will arrive to spaces that work, that the day will begin smoothly because someone made sure it would. This is the pattern. This is the rhythm. This is what happens while everyone sleeps. Mr. Josh keeps things ready, always has, always will. The work continuing its steady cycle, the care flowing constant and sure. The building protected and maintained through every night by someone who understands what it needs and provides it faithfully, while everyone sleeps, while the world rests, while darkness holds the city in its gentle embrace. Mr. Josh is there, working, caring, ensuring, making tomorrow possible through tonight's quiet attention. The work never quite finishes, but always feels complete. The routine never varies, but never grows stale. The care never falters, but never demands recognition. And so the hours pass, and so the night unfolds, and so the work continues. Mr. Josh, moving through familiar spaces with familiar purpose, his presence steady and sure, his attention constant and complete, his care flowing through every task, every surface, every space he tends. The building trusts him. He honors that trust. The people need him. He meets that need. The work calls him. He answers faithfully. Night after night after night, while everyone sleeps, Mr. Josh keeps things ready. This is what he does. This is who he is. This is enough.